This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana, and you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest in
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back for episode 18 of The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and
Mike. Yeah. And we are going to talk to you once again.
Let us talk to you.
Today, we shall talk to you about Monday Night Raw 3/11/24, NXT 3/12/24, and AEW Big Business 3/13/2024. Let us talk to you. It's going to be a good episode. We are going to start off the show with coverage of Monday Night Raw 3/11/24, live from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. This is another big Monday Night Raw on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it starts off with who else but Drew McIntyre. He comes out and he's singing his own praises as always. And, Seth Rollins comes out and Drew is like, Seth, I don't understand why you accepted this challenge, in the tag team match for The Rock and so on and so forth, with Roman and the Bloodline. And he's saying there's nothing he would like more than the Bloodline to interfere in their match as well, so that way he can lose the title. And Seth is just begging. He's begging Drew McIntyre to just hit him with another Claymore. He said he's been thinking about this last Claymore a lot.
Gets on his knees.
Yep, he said, please hit me with this Claymore. And
Begs for it.
Yep,
Begs
Drew's
for
like,
it.
no, I'm not going to do it. There's nothing you can say that will break me or whatever.
He continues to try to get Drew
keeps
McIntyre
going. He walks away.
Fired up, but basically saying, like, Drew McIntyre, you are actually on my list of concerns. You are
for
actually
sure.
about, like, 7th.
Right. Yeah. And then he stops, turns around, comes back, and almost lays a finger on Seth, but decides he's not going to do that.
How about Drew McIntyre trolling the fans? That was an interesting moment when they were giving him the what, and he was like, if you're happy about me injuring CM Punk, say what? And they were like, what?
Yep. Yo, heel Drew is awesome right
he's
now.
He's killing that heel role.
He really is.
Yeah. It's a good segment. Honestly,
Also,
good opening segment. And I also like how Lynch comes out right after Drew McIntyre.
Yep, and it
I love
leads.
that. That happens a lot, I feel.
I know, and it leads perfectly into the first match of the night.
Didn't they give each other a hug on the way by?
Yeah, right. It was it was meant to happen. And we move on to the first match of the night now with that, and it's Becky Lynch, the man, on the road to Mania. She's rolling, and she's finally going one-on-one with Liv Morgan. And, they did have their run-ins over the last few weeks, yes, but they finally get to wrestle each other here. And
it was really good match.
Yeah, it was all out, man.
They both hit their finisher once,
man,
and got kickouts off the finishers.
Yeah, and at the end, Liv tried going for another one of those code breakers. Becky got out of that, hit that manhandle slam.
2 of them.
And that's what it took to put her down. 1, 2, 3. The winner of match number 1 of the night,
and
is
she
the
needed
man.
that.
She
and,
did. She
I've
absolutely
been saying that Liv Morgan, in my opinion, is not world championship material.
I mean, she's already done it.
Yeah, but
it was still kind of recent.
And she got it off of Money in the Bank.
She did.
It's kind of like Damian the Priest winning the championship, if you ask me.
Yeah.
If he does.
So then Rhea comes out. In the midst of all this, and she's not having nothing. She's like, Becky, I don't care if you're the man or not. Like, I'm Rhea Ripley. This is going to go my way, just like it's been going my way. She does, and she's not worried about WrestleMania. And I say there's a real good chance that she retains at WrestleMania myself.
Yeah, basically, she's playing the whole, hey, Becky, you're just picking fights so that you have an excuse. Because
right.
that at WrestleMania, I'm going to beat you. So you have to have a lot of matches, say you're worn down. You have to have some kind of excuse for when you lose to me because you're gonna.
Exactly. And then Becky retaliates by saying, you know what, Rhea, it doesn't matter what you say. As long as these people, and she's pointing to the crowd, as long as these people believe in me, then that's all I need. And, Rhea's got that snarky look on her face, and, we move on.
It's funny because we're going to jump a little bit ahead and just say that from this segment, it almost makes sense to connect the segment that's going to be ahead. But, she's talking about you're just doing matches to, soften yourself up or have excuses. And Becky immediately turns around and challenges Nia Jax to a last woman standing match, which is
and is
crazy.
She out of her mind?
Because you're just getting called out for doing too many matches before WrestleMania, so you have an excuse for why when you lose, and you basically challenge the biggest woman currently, most scary. I mean, Rhea Ripley is the best in the league.
Oh my God!
But Nia Jax is the biggest and most dangerous women's superstar. 100%. You can literally go into a last woman standing match with her. Are you crazy?
I really think Becky is out of her mind for doing this, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Proven Rhea Ripley's point. Honestly, at this point, it's
exactly.
I don't know. Obviously, you want to have the biggest WrestleMania, so you want to involve the biggest stars and some of the past biggest stars as well, but. This Rhea Ripley Becky Lynch match is literally just to put
Rhea over much more. Right?
I mean, so she can start listing like Gunther and Roman
all
Reigns
the big names that she's
all the
taken
people
out.
That you've beaten to build your resume.
Legends,
and then I say you give her a run at the other half of the championship too,
so we can combine them and she can be the undisputed women's champion, which I see for her. Sure, for sure. Next, we have Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, and they have a big announcement, don't they? They have quite the announcement that we're going to have a 6-pack ladder match for the tag team championships at WrestleMania. Judgment Day, good luck to you guys. They have to defend against 5 other teams at WrestleMania in a ladder match. Anything goes. Do we see them walking out with the titles at WrestleMania? I don't know.
The teams that are in the running, it's just at least
they're not the strongest.
At least the Judgment Day, at least they're a team that have a name.
They're
and
solid.
They can come out and be called the Judgment. That's what I like about a tag team.
Yeah, right.
I like a tag team that
not just a random thrown together.
As much as I loved Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. They came out separately with different themes. They didn't have a name they got introduced as.
Right.
That's not exciting to me. It's cool. It was cool to watch. I'm glad it was a short run for that reason.
Yeah.
But
just a random thrown together team. Right. You want to have a more solidified trademark team. I get it.
We need more of those. And I hate to say it, but what ones do we have? Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
That's
the Creed brothers.
Yeah, the Creed brothers are. Yeah, but that's good. But. How many established ones?
I know there's not many.
How many ones that could stand toe-to-toe
maybe
with
they
the
have to have a match like
have
this.
That power,
maybe they have to have a match like this to just prove themselves.
Tag teams like Tyler Bate and
New Catch Republic is it? And, they've had their shot already. I don't know how they're already back in the running.
They should be pushing the New Day.
Yeah, I mean,
back for another run. They've done it
them.
before. Why not? Build them back up and put them against the Judgment Day, and that'd be awesome for WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've had.
I hope they win. I hope they win.
Wins.
I do.
They've had mega championship runs in this, and then after they announced this, we see the Judgment Day visibly upset about having to defend against all
they're
of
saying
these
they had
teams.
a bunch of other ideas and blah blah blah. They're being insulting to them, honestly, saying you didn't run this by us, pretty much blah blah blah, like they needed to.
This is what you're doing. Sorry, guys.
But that's just how you'd expect the Judgment Day to
exactly.
To respond
do you expect them to react to it any other way? No. Which leads us into the second match of the night. It is Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree.
One of the
weird moment here. Let's break it down.
I've seen in a long time. There's a lot to talk about there, I'd say.
Candice LeRae.
I don't really know if there was much going on in this match.
Not sure, man.
It was
what was happening at that time was Maxine was hitting that reverse caterpillar type thing that she does, and that's like her finish basically. And Candice LeRae comes in and just stops her while she's doing it. It was like, hey, you don't belong here. Why are you doing this? Blah blah blah.
Was she even tagged in?
No, she was not even tagged in. Maxine was the legal competitor, and that's just how it went down.
The conspiracy theorist in me says Maxwell Dupree Maxine Dupree did something wrong backstage for real, and that was a shaming moment or something.
Some
that was
kind
like
of receipt,
yeah, because like the ref didn't stop it. There was no mention of why she came into the ring.
She talks about
tagged.
Maxine's brother who's passed away.
Yeah, it was deep.
I know. I remember, like I said, we talked
like
about
initiation.
I was
stuff,
wide-eyed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was wide-eyed for sure.
And, I heard she messed up in a WWE live event, too.
Maxine Dupree.
Pretty bad,
She's green. She's new. She's learning on the fly. Like, I heard her on the Chris Van Vliet show last week. She's like, I just want to keep learning. You know, she's super, super new. She used to be a cheerleader for the Rams and went to a Super Bowl. That's what she did.
I can see it.
This,
I can see it.
Yeah.
This is all making sense.
Yep.
But, you know,
she's learning on the fly.
If you're listening and you know anything about this situation, just send it to the page.
Yeah, please,
Facebook,
because
X,
we want all the juice. After this
juice
weird,
it up.
After this weird moment, Lorraine knocks Niall off the ring apron, and then Indy comes in and connects with a big boot to pick up the win.
It was just a big boot.
Yep, that's what it was.
Folded her up like a pretzel.
Yep, brother.
And it was a 1, 2, 3.
Just took her right out with a big boot, brother. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell win this match via pinfall.
It's funny, and I don't know if the segment's going to come up, but I remember the segment. They go to Candice LeRae afterwards, and she's like not even acknowledging that she did anything wrong, and just saying, "I'm focused on my next match, or focused on me,
what
and focused what I'm doing. It is what it is, you know." So no remorse from Candice LeRae, who I didn't know is this bloodthirsty, cold-blooded.
Yeah, she hasn't showed that side
Here
of herself.
we are.
She's usually like one of those happy to be here,
Either
women's
this was,
wrestlers.
like I said, some kind of initiation weird thing that's going to go nowhere,
or whatever,
or this is gonna turn into something. But it's hard to believe that any of the people involved are going to be doing anything in the WWE with the amount of talent that's going on. So
exactly.
Maybe some NXT stuff
for sure. And then we cut backstage once again. It's the Judgment Day. They're pissed off. They're confronting Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, in a backstage office. They're livid about having to, defend the titles in this manner in this ladder match. And, Finn Balor says he's scared of ladders, because I don't know if you remember what happened last WrestleMania with Edge. Edge hit him with a ladder and split his skull open. He needed staples after that.
I do remember that, actually.
That was nasty.
That was actually awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was
at the
great.
Same time.
It was definitely great. And then he's like,
he finished the match.
Finished the match. Gee, trooped it. WrestleMania,
but
Hell in a Cell match.
There was some interesting X photos that came out.
Oh my God, yeah. Tough dude, Finn Balor, for sure. And then they want to say they say they want to have a match with Awesome Truth now to get to blow some steam off. And Adam Pearce says that they're not here tonight. It's a media night, and then R-Truth walks in, messes everything up. Truth forgets it.
Wrong.
Truth
doesn't realize he's not supposed to be there.
Yep, he forgets it's Monday. And then Priest tells Pierce to make the match. And after this, we have a pretty interesting segment. It's Michael Cole, a sit-down interview in the middle of the ring with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And Michael Cole is getting to the point of...
It's a nice sit-down.
Yeah, it was informative.
Very lovely.
A little uncomfortable at the end, but...
Like a nice little tea party.
Yeah. And
they're friends. They always say we're friends.
Yeah, right. And but he's asking Cody, how can you trust Seth Rollins? How you're about to have the biggest tag team match ever at WrestleMania. How do you trust Seth freaking Rollins after what you guys have been through before? And Cody's like, people change and so on and so forth. And then they move on to the subject of The Rock now, which is also interesting. And, all the social media promos back and forth. And Cody is not acknowledging that. What he wants to do, he's acknowledging that his father is no longer around to hand this championship to. And, The Rock, is he going to get involved? Because if he's saying if he does, then, if Cody does it, Cody's saying that he can still give this championship to his mother. And hand it to her, and The Rock's been talking hella smack about Cody and his entire family. And he's saying, to end it, he's saying it's going to be the first time in his family's history that you can say that Cody Rhodes or that a Rhodes is the undisputed world heavyweight champion. And
he talks about how he has fans that almost came through from cancer. He talks
right,
about
and how inspiring they are to him.
His deaf fans that
just
love just feeling the vibrations.
He's talking about just doing this for the people, and he's letting us know that.
Or maybe it was a blind fan that could feel the vibrations.
I think it was.
And feel or hear. I don't know.
And he went out and saw her in the crowd.
Maybe deaf and blind.
When he goes above and beyond and goes out in the crowd and interacts with all these people. And it's crazy.
Sure.
It's so cool.
Which most do. It's the duty of
definitely
superstars.
And he's saying that at WrestleMania, finally you're going to get to say Cody Rhodes finished his story.
And he gets real teary-eyed, and he just basically proves The Rock right and cries.
Cody cry baby,
big crocodile tears.
Yep.
And
about his mom being the only one left. Yes.
Yep. And I guess he just proved The Rock right. That was a bold, weird move, in my opinion.
It was uncomfortable.
Calling them the Cody crybabies, and then he cries.
And then he's crying, And what else?
Interesting.
What else can you think of there but that? And then we cut back, and Nia Jax.
He's a real man,
Oh yeah, real man's man. He's crying. Now we get back, and Nia Jax comes out of nowhere and just ambushes Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan in the backstage area. Jax puts Becky Lynch through a merchandise table with her own manhandle slam.
Yep.
And that did not look pretty, I'll tell you that.
It didn't.
And that brings us to match number 3. Which is the Kabuki Warriors, once again, with Damage Control, of course, versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship.
Yep.
And at this point, I didn't care who won this match as long as it wasn't the Kabuki Warriors. And spoiler alert, guess what? They ended up winning this match.
Yeah, well, I feel like, for one, the Kabuki Warriors have been the Women's Tag Team Champions for longer than anybody in the WWE.
And it's like
a combined run that they had from before, but they are the record holders for the longest. So I don't know if they're just playing off that
stat, I guess.
But they need a good team, I feel like. They're not going to hand it over to anybody else till they have another team with a name. It's the team with a name thing. They're the Kabuki Warriors.
They have
got to have
the name.
More tag teams with names.
Yes.
And the
names,
Road Warriors.
Matching gear. The
Rockers.
The double team moves. Yeah, of course. Legion of Doom.
In the day,
Natural disasters. You know, like guys like that.
Even
really,
when Randy Orton
and Riddle,
RK
Bro,
or
it was great.
Awesome Truth, that's great. That's awesome.
Make it make sense. Yes, absolutely.
We need more of that. So
this match ends with Asuka tagging in Kairi Sane. Kairi then goes up to the top rope, hits the insane elbow to pick up the victory in this match, and still the Kabuki Warriors.
I feel like most of their wins have been coming off the insane elbow.
Yeah, they have. They're selling that move for sure.
Asuka's lack of depth and moves.
Right. I mean, I don't know what happened. If you remember her NXT run, she was awesome.
I don't know. She
ever since she painted her face, she got weird. You know?
I don't know what's up with her, but I don't like it.
No, I'm just
good. Not a fan.
I'm good.
Kairi Sane, I'm not really too sure what to make of her.
Yeah, I mean, she's got some moves, but tag team championship already, I don't know. We then see Rhea Ripley backstage. She's talking to Andrade El Idolo, which is, this is happening more and more.
Yeah, it seems to be there's something brewing here.
Yeah, she's
between
interested.
Bloodline between the Judgment Day.
We got our minds on Andrade. The Bloodline for sure. And she's letting him know that they can continue to discuss business when Dom returns next week. He's not there, and Finn Balor actually agrees and says that Andrade can bring a lot to the table. So this is getting interesting for sure. Is Andrade El Idolo going to be the next member of the Judgment Day? And is JD McDonough gone?
Well, wait, you're saying who said he could bring a lot? Yeah.
Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor says he can bring a lot to the table, but Damian Priest, once again,
when
a new member is in the fold, it's like he gets very weird and weird, and he's basically like, I'm going to focus on my match.
And he's got a match with R-Truth.
Come on, Damian Priest, you're not the one. Calm down. You're going to be a good wrestler. You remind me of the next, Diesel or Scott Hall.
Yeah, solid guy for
guy
sure.
that can choke slam.
Yeah, right. Hit that razor's edge, the power bombs.
Diesel mixed with mixed with the Undertaker.
Yeah, I see the Taker for sure. I see the Taker
like,
reference. He's got all kinds of styles.
And he's young, so
it works.
Enjoy the ride. It's not world title time yet.
Right, exactly.
Get that Intercontinental title so we have an excuse to make Gunther a world champion.
I know, yeah, it's got to happen at this point. Anywho, that leads right into Damian Priest actually attacking Truth before their match. He wasn't even going to wait until the match started.
He starts the festivities off early.
Yep, chaos. And I got to say, though, R-Truth wasn't having it. He came back. He really did. He proved that, he is a veteran, and he's been wrestling for longer than a lot of these guys have even been alive. And he comes close, but Damian Priest, he hits that razor's edge. He hits that gotta love it. Hits that beautiful South of Heaven choke slam to put down R-Truth for the 1, 2, 3. And
it's a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it is. And Awesome Truth has to take the loss this week. Miz was not there. R-Truth wasn't even supposed to be there. But we all know what he does. And after this, we get something that I thought was great. We've talked about it on the show the last few weeks. Do we need it? Is it coming? It's happening, guys. It's Jey Uso backstage calling out his brother Jimmy, saying he's had enough. All his life he's been dealing with this, and it's time to put everything to bed. And he challenges his brother Jimmy Uso to a match 1-on-1 at WrestleMania 40. So there it is. That if that's not enough confirmation, I don't know what is. It's happening. We're getting it, whether we wanted it or not, which I'm cool with it.
Seems that way, but Jimmy's still got to accept. But
yes, correct.
Maybe he might say
correct.
No.
He might say no. He might say no yeet, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But he's challenging him now. And he's looking serious about it for sure. Now we're backstage with Jackie Redmond and Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. And they're talking about 640 days as Intercontinental Champion.
Of course.
And, how he's got a big match coming up now at WrestleMania, once we find out the winner of tonight's gauntlet. So, they're asking him how he feels about that. And, he has belief that his legacy is, it speaks for itself. 640 days prior, he says he had defeated Ricochet and took the Intercontinental Championship, took it over to new heights that it hasn't seen maybe since the Attitude Era, to be honest, if we're being honest. When's the last time the Intercontinental Championship was this important? So he's saying that,
maybe when Stone Cold Steve Austin had it?
Yeah, right, dude. That was, legit. He's saying that, he's a very proud champion, and that, he's excited to see which one it's going to be to compete against him, for his great prize, as he says. And he actually wishes good luck to tonight's gauntlet participants, and in hopes of having the best winner possible to defend against. We now have the main event of the evening. We have a gauntlet match with the winner going on to WrestleMania to face Gunther for his Intercontinental Championship. And who's it going to be? The match starts off with Ricochet and J.D. McDonough of the Judgment Day. And, it goes for a while. They're both really going hard. You can tell that the WrestleMania implications are there. Everyone's trying everything to get this done. And Ricochet ends up pulling this one off with the standing shooting star press, and J.D. McDonough has been eliminated. But then
it was a nice one too.
Nice, yes, very
and
nice.
You could tell that they show Samantha Irving. There's a video out on TikTok.
Yeah, where she's like reacting to it. Yeah.
When he does the first move, she's like, "Oh my god!" He basically backflips him onto his head, kind of, but his knees protected, obviously.
Yeah, dude.
And
Ricochet can move.
Yeah, and then the very next move was that Spanish Fly, and she was just on the side with her
standing
eyes closed.
I know.
And then
I know.
The Spanish Fly obviously hurt Ricochet,
right?
And he kicked out on 2, and you saw her on the sideline put her fingers up for 2. And
yep, exactly. She's into it when she's out there.
It's so funny how she's playing into the whole, and it's not a mystery that they're together and they're not keeping that secret.
No, they're not. And the cameras are right on her. We're having fun. Yeah, cameras are right on her too when these things are happening. And then out comes Big Bronson Reed, and he's the second competitor in this gauntlet match, and that pretty much speaks for itself. Ricochet did give him a run for his money. Yes, he did. But Big Bronson Reed connects with that tsunami mic, and when he hits that, you can count.
Yeah, you knew that you were going to see that in this match somewhere. So.
Absolutely. And, Bronson Reed then moves on in this gauntlet versus Sami Zayn, which is interesting.
Who's our favorite? If you listen to our prior episodes, the Battle Royale.
Yep, we were the ones.
We picked Sami Zayn to be our winner.
We did pick Sami to be the winner here, and
we picked Chad Gable to run up. Both of us.
We did.
We're in accord.
We did. Yep. So we'll see. So far, it's looking good, and Zayn and Reed are really, really going at it. But Sunset Flip Power Bomb, scoring the pinfall. Bronson Reed has been eliminated, and we move on in the gauntlet match now to Shinsuke Nakamura, which was another contestant that has been there, has been that title holder and can get it done, but Sami Zayn just wasn't having that tonight for an answer. He connects with a hellish haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Nakamura is out now of this gauntlet match, and that only leaves one guy. That's the master, Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, Sammy's gassed.
Oh, yeah.
Gable's kind of like he doesn't even want to start the match without standing. He stands.
He gave
Sammy
him a fair shot.
He wants he's kind of, and that kind of bites him in the ass.
It does, yeah. I mean, if he went in there,
away, but
I know if he went in there and just dominated him, maybe things would have turned out.
But he's a man of honor.
He is,
and sometimes that works the opposite way for you. And in this case, it kind of did because,
here's the thing. They had a barn burner of a match, and then it went into this pinning situation where Sammy gets the 1, 2, 3, but Gable's shoulders don't look like they're down. All right? And that is the big asterisk, if you will, on this match. And what I'm hearing right now is Sami Zayn was very upset by the fan reaction after this. Like, he was like, I thought everyone loved me, and, now they're just trashing me. But that's what happens when you're winning.
Well,
I would say
there isn't any triple threat scenario, and if they end up going into WrestleMania just the two, people will forget about that, and they will start cheering again for Sammy. They just get caught up in the moment, like the Liv Morgan movement a couple weeks ago. No one's talking about that anymore.
And after the match, though, Sami Zayn, he's a good sport. Gable was visibly distressed because during the match he was screaming out at Sammy, "I need this more than you." I need this, and, couldn't get it done. So he hugs him after the match is over. And Zayn then has a standoff with the Intercontinental Champion Gunther as the show goes off the air. And, heading into WrestleMania, is Sammy the guy to take that championship? I don't think so. But is he going to give us a hell of a match? Absolutely.
Weirder things have happened.
Absolutely, yes. And this is going to end the Monday Night Raw segment of our show. Thought it was a very entertaining Raw. 8 out of 10, if I just got to shoot from the hip like that. And we are going to move on to WWE NXT. Yeah.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we have the NXT review. First match comes right off the bat. Right off the start of the show, we have LWO versus OTM in a tag team qualifier for the NXT Tag Team Championship belt match against Braun Breaker and Corbin.
Baron Corbin, the Wolf Dogs.
Baron Corbin.
Wolf Dogs.
So right off the bat, just in a true OTM fashion, they attack LWO on the ramp. Lucien and Bronco dominate the match, as they should. These big gargantuans definitely need to be throwing their weight around and using power moves, and that's what they do.
Yep.
They're attacking, Joaquin Wilde at first. He's getting the brunt of it for most of the start of the match. But, he tags in Cruz del Toro. He gets the tag in. And
he can fly.
LWO starts to turn the tables a little bit, but it's right back to Bronco. Dominating Joaquin Wilde, who gets tagged back in. Then Joaquin Wilde comes in again, and most of the offense from LWO seems to be coming from him at this point. I'm starting to wonder if Joaquin Wilde's going to be doing anything. But then Joaquin Wilde, with a wild jump off the Bronco's back, I'll call it. I'll call him. But Bronco is the name of one of OTM, and he jumps off his back and out of the ring onto Lucien and Scripps, totally turning the momentum. And after this, it's Wilde with a huge 540 off the middle rope for the 1-2 thrizzle.
Your winner,
Joaquin Wild, and Cruz del Toro, the LWO.
Woohoo.
Arriba. Now we're with Obafemi, the guy who's taken the North American title by storm with his opportunities from the breakout tournament. He's asked how he feels about his match with Brooks Jensen. He just says he's not worried, and why should he be worried? You know what I mean? Why?
Got nothing to worry
then all
about.
of a sudden, Brooks shows up, pushing on him and asking
Should
him
he
to
be
fight.
worried now?
But, Obafemi, believe it or not, very restrained, and they're going to wait for that match to get that done.
Very professional.
But then we have Thea Hale backstage with her fellow Chase U Peoples, Duke, and Andre Chase backstage talking with Thea. And she's obviously jealous that Jacy Jane has a new friend. And they post pictures together, and she says that she used to
Having
be her
a good old
friend,
time.
and
Yeah.
she says she has a new teammate to face Kiana James, though, and she's moving on. Makes that clear and looks confident. Goes to Roxanne Perez after this promo, saying she's holding this in for a long time. And basically, she grinds and has been doing it for years. And she keeps going back to that, it seems, how she's put in all her time and been the NXT champion before. She's been in high-risk matches. Says she carries the women's division. Says she's coming after the gold. Wants the rematch. She said she was screwed because, obviously, somebody had cashed in on her opportunity. And it's not fair to her that she didn't get a fair fight.
Yeah.
So maybe she should get one. But Ava comes out, obviously the commissioner or whatever she's calling herself, general manager.
Yeah, right. One who makes those decisions.
Yeah, but Tatum Paxley also comes from the crowd and fails at attacking Roxanne, and then it all gets carried away. So I don't think much was really done here. Ava had some words with Roxanne, nothing breakthrough for me to discuss, but it ended with obviously Tatum Paxley coming out. And them having a little scrum because Tatum Paxley obviously is coming to avenge the injury that happened to Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, she's going to back
from the
that
attack
up.
from Roxanne Perez. So, it just kind of fades out kind of segment. There's a lot of that in this episode I've learned of NXT. But,
a lot of vignettes.
Now we got a family promo with the family. It's, their promo for Stand It Deliver. They're paying their respects to the Dawn, having a title match. Everybody's congratulating him pretty much and saying how his plan worked out and this and that. He explains that everyone had their role in it and they took the direction from the Dawn, so he's very happy about that. But enter Ilya Dragunov.
He's not part of the family.
Yep. Everyone clears the room but the Dawn. Ilya explains that the title is not going anywhere, but the Dawn says no matter what happens, the Dawn likes him. And Stax and Stax and Cristofino take Ilya away, and they drive off with Ilya Dragunov in the trunk.
That's amazing. Now that is the family.
Next up, we have Mr. Stone, hell-bent on revenge on Lexis King, so he's going against Lexis King in this matchup. He starts off by attacking King, getting his shots in. But
he's been
Lexis
very cocky lately, so maybe he deserves it.
He does a little bit. Lexis starts taking control back with some taunting and some hair pulling. Normal Lexis King stuff.
He's got to fight dirty.
Mr. Stone,
I still love him, though.
gets lucky on a reversal for a last chance top rope splash to try to get something going.
Yeah.
But kick out by Lexis at 1.
Then
kick to Mr. Stone's face and the coronation to end it. There wasn't really much to write home about in this match.
Your winner is Lexis King again.
Lexis King continues to pick on Mr. Stone, but obviously Von Wagner comes in to save him, and it's probably just setting up a little bit more of a rivalry between Von Wagner and Lexis King.
Yeah,
maybe.
for sure.
Lexis needs to earn his stripes a little bit, even though he does think he is the next big thing. He does need matches under his belt against good opponents to get to that level, so let's hope it happens.
For sure.
But we cut right backstage to Obafemi again.
To Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And it's just a reiteration of the fact that he says Brooks is just a child. But then Dijak pops up and says, once you stop playing around with Brooks, let's see if you are a real champion and you face me. And then it kind of fades out from there.
Yeah.
And then we go in to Obafemi versus Brooks Jensen. So that was pretty much as
like a setup
Obafemi was coming out. Dijak had to, put his comments in. So now we have Obafemi versus Brooks Jensen. And Obafemi dominates from the start, as you would expect. And about midway through, Brooks Jensen gets his spurt of offense, but it doesn't last long either. Continues to beat down Brooks Jensen. Jensen, on his third wind, is able to knock Oba down outside the ring, and that's where he gets his advantage of attack, is pretty much some outside ring stuff. Brings him in the ring and attempts a drop kick, but he fails. Oba works on his back, heavy. Oba with a running shoulder in the corner, further messing that back up. More submissions on Josh Briggs. Oba had a huge power bomb as Brooks came off the ropes. It's kind of how he's been doing it. He throws them off the ropes, and as they come back, he lifts them up and power bombs them down.
Nice, I like it.
It's really cool. Then he follows that up with a second power bomb, gets the 1, 2, 3. It was no challenge for Obafemi. He's gonna main roster at some point. I guarantee.
Yeah, you can smell a call up coming there for sure.
Yeah, but then it cuts back over wherever you want to say it goes to the Dawn and Dragunov. On a bridge. So they brought him to a bridge now.
Dragunov, you made a big mistake.
Yeah, the Don says he could end it now if he wants to, but he's not going to. He just wants to give him a vision of how things could be.
Right.
Ilya still isn't scared, he says. He says,
trying to
show
put
me
the
what you
fear
got.
in him.
And the Don leaves. And Dragunov said, I always find a way.
Interesting.
So,
very interesting storyline.
Whatever
here.
the cockiness is, like rock and roll McDonald's.
Yeah, man.
So,
it's like Goodfellas is happening on NXT.
I mean, it's great.
I love
it's great.
it.
I
It's
can't
cool.
wait for their call up either. There's a lot of call ups
gonna
I'm
be
looking
cool.
forward to from NXT. Braun Breaker was a no brainer.
Yeah, you had to.
Trish,
He was
Tiffany
ready.
Stratton,
Another
no-brainer. But
Thank
they
you.
need more
Tiffy
of that.
time.
We need the youth in. We need to trim some of the fat and bring some of the youth
Definitely.
up. I think obviously.
Definitely.
But now we have Gigi Dolan versus Ariana Grace. And last week we had a little segment where they had a little bit of a tiff, and Ariana challenged her to a match. And said that if she wins, she's going to give him a makeover. She's going to give her classes, etiquette classes, all that 9 yards, we know that going into this match. So there's a big stipulation match here on NXT.
Yep.
Back and forth match, though, from the start. Ariana Grace using her brain to take advantages, but Gigi Dolan using her force.
Brains versus bronze.
That's how it is in this match, 100%.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Ariana hits, because Gigi Dolan's a powerful girl.
She is.
You know what I mean?
Powerhouse, yeah, for sure.
Ariana hits Gigi Dolan with a low blow, and the ref doesn't see it. But then Gigi turns around and hits her with a low blow, and the ref calls the game. She calls the match, DQs Gigi, and Ariana Grace wins the match, and now Gigi Dolan has to take etiquette classes with Ariana and become a real woman. So it's backstage. We're with Carmen Prevelic and Ruka, Saul Ruka backstage. Lola Vice starts an argument with Carmen, seemingly calling a match with her. In comes Brindley Reese, all of a sudden randomly after that, and comes in all excited for her match unexpectedly. So it was a very random little segment that came in.
Yeah.
So that's covered.
They got to fill some time too, just like everybody else has to fill some time.
Next we have a match that kind of spawned from last week when we had a weird segment where Thea Hale was fighting backstage with Kiana James and Izzy Dame throwing blows. She found a partner, Kalani Jordan. And this matchup is Kiana James and Izzy Dame versus Thea Hale and Kalani Jordan. In the back from the start, you see Kalani Jordan backstage hurt. No one knows who hurt her, but she is backstage and hurt and cannot be Thea Hale's partner. So Thea Hale is freaking out like she does. She gets all worked up. Her music hits. She has to go out. She's coming down, looking like she's ready for a 2-on-1 fight.
Like a handicap match.
Yeah, but Fallon Henley comes out to her rescue and takes Kalani's place, which is cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, Thea Hale and Fallon Henley clear the ring. Impressive double team arm breaker by them that I really noted here and circled them out a million times.
You don't see that a lot.
Fallon Henley on fire, giving Kiana James problems all over the ring. Izzy Dane problems all over the ring when she tags her in. Kiana distracts Fallon eventually so that Izzy can take back control. And then she tags in Kiana once control is established, who starts on an offensive assault. Out comes JC Jane and Jasmine Nix from backstage, who said she was too busy to tag with Thea Hale. But
and what's she doing out here now?
Out here with her new best friend, Jasmine Nix. A lot of drama in NXT.
I can see that.
I love the drama. So that's
it's
why I
great.
like it so much. But Kiana James catches Thea Hale with a massive spine buster, but Thea kicks out, gets outside the ring, and JC Jane pulls away Fallon Henley, which exposes Thea to get hit and thrown in the ring for Kiana James to hit the bankrupt for the 1-2-3 on her.
It's
and,
over.
it just continues from there after the match. JC Jane and Nix get in the ring. Thea has a mic. Thea says she thought JC was her best friend and she's hurt.
What
She
happened?
wants to know what JC's problem is. So it says JC is becoming a more rotten version of herself and says the old Thea Hale is back, bitch.
Oh,
and then that's pretty
with an
much
exclamation
that there.
point on it.
And we're backstage all of a sudden with the quarter catch crew, no quarter catch crew, with Riley Osborne as well. And they bicker with Riley, and it seems like they're staging of a match. It looks like it's getting there, and nothing's really said about an absolute concrete match, or maybe something will be announced, but nothing's finalized. But they claim and make a claim, the no quarter catch crew makes a claim that they will be leaving Stand and Deliver as the tag team champions. So
a hell of a
they
claim.
think that they're winning this tag team tournament.
They locked
and they
it down
think
or
that
what?
They're going to be the tag team championship holders. And they
Interesting.
also think that, well, they already took the title. Dempsey took the Heritage Cup.
Yeah,
so
right.
they're
He's the
trying to
cup
get all
winner.
the gold.
Yep.
They're on the gold run right now.
Yeah, right.
So.
They're on that early Judgment Day run where they all had gold, you know?
Exactly. So after that, we go backstage to Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Boys.
The Good Brothers.
The Good Boys, the Good Brothers, saying they will be the tag team champs.
Yeah, they're in that. They're in the hunt for it.
They
you know
call
what I mean?
Braun and Corbin clowns.
Yeah, oof. And
Talk about Hank and Tank in
some
the match
heavy
they
words.
have. Yeah. They have a match coming up with Hank and Tank saying they've been doing this for way longer and they don't
have.
stand a chance.
And they
so,
have.
backstage to Hank and Tank. And they,
Shawn
otherwise.
Michaels loves his vignettes.
Yeah, they feel otherwise. They say they will shock the world and beat the Good Brothers.
Right.
And then,
which would shock the world for sure.
And they, bump into Braun Breaker and Corbin, and they say, "You're talking about us," and they're like, "Nah, we don't care. It's all good." And they're like, well, best of luck.
It's all
whatever.
business type deal. Yeah.
Seemed all right there. But then we have our headline, our main event. Ridge Holland finally
Here we
facing
go.
Sean Spears.
We've been waiting for
We've
it.
been waiting for this match. I like how Sean Spears comes out with that white mask.
Same presentation that he had in AEW, which
really
I'm
cool.
loving that they're doing that. With
Andrade
these.
does the same thing.
Yep. And Cody as well.
On Raw, right? He's on Raw. Yeah,
he's
right.
on Raw. Yep. Cody as well. All the presentations have stayed the same, and that's really nice.
Yes, it is. So here we go. Ridge Holland versus Sean Spears, the grudge match. Sean Spears saying that he's going to make Ridge Holland release his rage. He's going to help him. He's got a weird thing going on with Ridge Holland right now.
Gonna exercise
and I want to
his
see how it
demons.
unfolds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So honestly, this one starts off with big reversals back and forth.
Like us playing 2K24.
Yeah, very much so. Or Madden today.
Reversal fest.
Yeah, back and forth. But this was reversrsals. So the triangle button, or on the
on
Xbox, I
what would it
believe
be?
it's
Y?
the Y.
Yep. We're PlayStation guys, man. It's triangle, okay?
After some frustrating back and forth reversals, Sean yells at Ridge, "Let it out!" He's really,
let it go.
really trying to get Ridge to release the beast.
It's concerning.
Yeah. Sean takes some control and chops and scraps Ridge. Lots of chops, knife edge chops. Ridge rages
Turn
back,
your chest into mincemeat.
hitting with energy, but is dumped outside the ring by Spears. Ridge, not wanting to follow through on throwing Sean into the outside turnbuckle, he second guesses it. He's kind of like second guessing his rage.
Yeah, right.
So Sean's like, whatever, does it to him, and tells Ridge that he should have done it, which is sick. He's got
sadistic.
Yeah. So Ridge uses his strength to overpower Spears, but Spears seemed to be the smarter fighter in this match. He seems to be
he is
really somewhat wrestling, but coaching Ridge Holland in
at the
some
same
weird,
time. Yep.
devilish way.
Trying to take him under his wing in a way.
Sean tangles Ridge in the ropes and berates him. Ridge sending, sends him into a rage, and he starts landing moves after moves.
Right.
And, Ridge choke slams him through the announce table.
That damn table is never safe, man. It's never safe.
And then Ridge grabs a chair, and the ref grabs it. Sean tries to pin and fails, but is able to get Ridge with the C4 on the chair.
Yeah.
Gets the 1, 2, 3, and
Boom.
there it is. But then we have our final segment for NXT.
It's not over yet, folks.
And, our final segment is the biggest crowd pop in NXT right now. We're talking about Trick Williams.
Whooping that trick.
He came out to the stage with a massive, massive crowd pop.
Dude's over, man. Gotta say, he's over.
Says he's angry. Says he feels betrayed. Thought Carmelo was family.
Yeah,
brother.
Right. Mellow.
Never expected this in a million years. Does not know why he's acting the way he is. Very jealous. Says Melo is a big liar, and it hurts. It hurts him.
Yeah, they were boys. They were like brothers, best friends, and then turned to mortal enemies now.
But it hurts him the most that he lied about being his brother, because it's clear now that he isn't.
Yeah.
He claims Melo isn't on the same level as Trick Williams then. Really makes a statement.
Oh, yeah, that's
calls
saying
Melo
something.
out for a match at Stand and Deliver, and says the whole crowd is going to be chanting, "Whoop that Trick."
Oh, I'm sure they will, too.
Mm-hmm. But out comes Metaphor, which is kind of weird. And Noam Dar is saying that they are sick of hearing about him and Melo, and he deserves what he got from Melo. He's playing that heel.
Yeah. He just lost the cup. He's got to do something else now,
Well, he says that his next mission is to steal Trick's clout.
Ah, okay. So there it is.
Yeah, Trick says thinks Lash Legend is eyeing him, giving him the eyes, which is weird. Kind of seems like they got a little weird
Is there
chemistry
something going on there? Yeah, right.
Noam challenges him to a fight next week.
Okay.
But Trick Williams whoops all of them.
Oh,
in
man.
the ring.
Just kidding. We're doing this now.
And then he grabs Lash Legend, throws her down. Well, she tries to throw a punch at him.
Okay.
He catches it, swoops her down off her feet in like a romantic pose, and they kiss passionately.
Really?
In the ring.
What is going on out there on NXT, guys? Maybe I have to tune in now.
And then Trick whoops him again, whoops up Metaphor again, and then it fades to Trick's music and the crowd chanting, "Whoop that Trick." What an ending to NXT. What an episode, guys. Thanks for hanging with us for the NXT review.
And you heard the man. That is going to end this portion of the show, the NXT portion of the show. We look forward to the saga of Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes next week. And we move on now to some really big business, if you will.
Big business.
Big business. We move
supposedly,
on to...
supposedly. This better be monumental.
It better be. We move on to AEW Dynamite Big Business, 3/13/2024, right down the street from us, Mike, in Boston at TD Garden.
Tickets
Very
were like
tempting.
$26, and I was thinking about it.
Yeah, man. It was just a little last minute for me. No babysitter, that type of stuff. Big business now. It starts off, and Renee Paquette is, breaking down the show. She's introducing the show, and up pulls a brand new Mercedes-Benz. A brand new Mercedes.
Big business.
Mercedes-Benz. And, driver pops out, open the door, and we cut. We come back from commercial, and we have to wait no time at all. We don't have to wait at all. It's the CEO, Mercedes Moné. She's making her AEW debut right here, hometown of Boston, Massachusetts. And she comes out to a great reaction. Massive respect the fans are showing her. She's thanking everybody now. When she finally gets to the ring, gets a mic, she thanks all the fans. She says they're the reason that she's here and that she's home right here in Boston. And she's saying she's very excited. There's a lot of wrestlers, a lot of women's wrestlers here she's never gotten to work with before, and that she's really, she's really ready to dig into that. And it's money talks now. It's no longer boss time.
She stayed in Boston a little bit. She was at a Celtics game.
Yeah, she was.
A couple days later.
She was. Yep, that's her hometown. She's her first spotting, if you will, as an all elite wrestling talent. And, what an opening to the show. We finally get it. The big business is Mercedes Moné, and she is here to stay in AEW. Mercedes is all elite. And now that moves us to the first match of the night. But before it starts, we have Samoa Joe talking backstage, and I can't believe they opened up the show with this match. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Joe's talking backstage how, he feels like Boston.
Well, they opened with a segment with Monet, and I feel like WWE's been doing that a lot.
Yes.
So maybe they opened with a big, long opening, cool segment with Monet. Mm-hmm. They're kind of taking a page out of their competition
playbook,
book, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing first match for sure. Here.
Yeah, man. And Samoa Joe is saying that Boston smells like money and that tonight there's debts to be paid. And that brings us to the first match of the night. It's the World Heavyweight Championship match. Number one contender, Wardlow versus Samoa Joe. At the beginning of Big Business after this massive segment we just had. And the match, the match spoke for itself. It was a really good match. At times you kind of weren't sure what was going to go down. The thing is with how they did this is they already wasted Wardlow's shot, because obviously Joe gets the win here and retains the championship. And now what's next for Wardlow is concerning. They were building him up with these big promos, and they put him to open up Big Business, and he loses his title match. It was a big fight here, but Joe, Joe doesn't have a problem choking somebody out. He ends it with the coquina clutch and makes Wardlow look weak.
And that's weird because
why are they doing that?
Obviously, we have some answers that they're not going to be. The Kingdom's not going to be getting. Yeah, all the gold.
They are not.
Unless there's some other match. That was his opportunity. That was his cash in.
Right before the match.
I thought we were going in that direction.
And to backtrack, right before the match, Adam Cole was like doing a sit-down story time promo, reading from a book like Mr. Rogers about how Wardlow's going to be the champion, and that wasn't the case.
Kind of anticlimactic.
It was,
nothing was really said.
Wardlow just faded out. They rang the bell.
The Kingdom to be out there.
They weren't there.
What is going on? I don't understand.
And after the match, Swerve Strickland then appears on stage.
Yes, he does.
And takes out all the security with the chain wrapped around his hand. And Joe ends up, booking it and taking off with the title. And
as he does a lot.
He's
an avoider. Like when people go off the top rope, sometimes he steps to the side.
Absolutely. And after that, real quick, Alex Marvez catches up with the Elite and the newly joined Elite member Okada, the Rainmaker, and makes him sing Happy Birthday to Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks. And that brings us right into match number 2 of the night. We have Mad King, Eddie Kingston, Penta El Miedo, and the returning Pac, the bastard Pac, who's looking great upon his return, versus the new Elite. And this was a really good match.
What a match.
Really good match, I got to say. Pac is looking great. Okada's looking great, and, they really want to make him look strong. Because he's now part of the Elite since they fired Kenny Omega. I don't know if
they really did in that first match. I wasn't wowed.
I wasn't wowed either.
It wasn't an Osprey, that's for sure.
Oh, my God, no. It wasn't the aerial
assassin.
That's
just no joke. You thought, would the hype be where it needs to be, and Osprey killed it.
Exactly.
Okada, I'm still waiting for my Okada moment.
Me too. I am. Me too. I haven't seen it yet myself, but he finishes this match with a Rainmaker and wins the match.
Seems to be the theme?
It does, yep. Seems to be winning matches for the Elite, so they'll take that. And there's your winners of that match, the new Elite. And after this, Tony Schiavone is welcoming who we were just talking about, Mike. He welcomes out Will Ospreay to the ring a huge,
to make his
huge
appearance,
ovation.
To make Big Business a little bigger.
Yeah,
he comes out with a dog and pony show out to the ring.
Yeah, and to follow up on this this rivalry, this confirmed match now with American Dragon Bryan Danielson. And Will Ospreay is out there cutting what I thought was one of the best promos of his life. He's really amped up his mic skills a lot. You can tell, from his start at New Japan. And he's saying that the moment that he stepped foot in AEW, they talked about restoring the feeling, okay? And Ospreay says, bruv, I am the feeling. Like, that was the line right there where I was like, ooh, this guy is cooking right now. And only one man walks out of that arena. And AEW is going to be about the best wrestlers versus the best wrestlers.
Of course.
And he goes, it's your life or mine. And I don't plan on dying, bruv. So, this match is going to be out of control. It's probably going to be one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. I can't wait for it. I really can't. Will Ospreay, great promo here, rolling on. Now we have Deonna Purrazzo. She says it's not over with Timeless Tony Storm. I know, yawn. Tony Storm just keeps showing her up in every way, and she's going to continue to do that. And she wants to find a tag team partner to take on Tony and Mariah May next week.
Mariah May is popping.
She is, and she's got the whole old school Tony Storm thing going
and
now.
It's funny because it's like Tony Storm is openly admitting not in watching her matches, so she's not even seeing that she's coming out dressed as her.
Right.
That's kind of a little funny thing.
It's
like,
great.
Would she have something to say if she saw her dressed up like that and come out? Because she has very similar look to how Tony Storm used to look. She's kind of using her past gimmick.
And it's working for her.
It's working, and it's funny that Tony just keeps being like, yeah, I've seen one match. I've seen them all.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, she goes on her rants there. Needless to say, we move on to match number 3 of Big Business, and it's the crazy guy, man. It's Darby Allin versus Switchblade Jay White from the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and the thing with Darby here is this was supposed to be his last match. It's his last match for a while because he's going to go climb Mount Everest, as we've been talking about. And they have a hellacious match. One spot that really, really stuck out to me was Darby Allin trying the coffin drop from the top rope to the outside of the ring and just crumbled. And it was a bump that he really didn't need to be taken. He was already covered in, medical tape from the big bump at, Sting's last match, and he really didn't have to do this, but, this is Darby Allin we're talking about, and at the end of this, kind of surprising, Jay White hits that Blade Runner out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3, the match is over, and I thought Darby had more of a chance here. But I guess they wanted to send him out, on his back for the Everest thing. You're not going to see him for a while because in comes the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. And this is where we have problems. There's turmoil now because, they're just like beating the bricks off of Darby. And, you got the rest of the Scissor Gang, the Acclaim, trying to come out and say, look, enough is enough. This guy's been beat. You won, Switchblade. Let's just not do this anymore. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And Daddy Ass now tells Jay White this is bullshit. And Jay White takes a chair and just cracks him. Boom. And that's the end of the Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Yeah.
We loved it. It is gone now. I don't know.
I never bought it.
Come back.
I loved it. I loved it.
Bullet Club
was
Gold,
fun, but I never bought it. The whole
time,
I thought this was going to happen. So here we are.
Yep. Bullet Club Gold can't be trusted. Bang Bang Scissor Gang, rest in peace. It was a good run. It was a fun one.
But now you can feud it.
Yes.
They both have each championships. I don't know if they're going to unify or whatever they're thinking.
Right.
But
the concerning thing now is Darby gets dragged back into the ring and his ankle is just shattered with this steel chair, just for good measure, just to put him out for that much longer. Match number 4 of the night now as we transition. It is the team of Gates of Agony and Lion Hook. Just like we're talking about with these tag teams, they made up a brand new name for their first ever tag match. It is Lionheart Chris Jericho. It's Hook. They are now Lion Hook. And you wonder watching this match how Lion Hook, if you want to call them, is going to coexist. Not teaming before. It's Chris Jericho, the legend, the veteran, teaming up with, newcomer, up-and-comer Hook, and it actually worked out pretty well. Lionheart Chris Jericho got
it's a weird team, got a cool team.
Yeah, but it worked. He got his spiel in. The Gates of Agony guys did not have an answer.
Nope.
This ends with Hook locking in the red rum and just tapping out the opponent to win the match. And Lion Hook, the new team, is your winners here. Chris Jericho and the Handsome Devil Hook. And now we pan backstage to Renee Paquette. She's with new AEW talent Kyle O'Reilly. He says the last 2 years were some of the darkest days of his entire life. He wonders if he can still hang here in professional wrestling. And Roderick Strong is here now with the Undisputed Kingdom. Roddy says he's got nothing but respect for Kyle O'Reilly, but if he wants to do this on his own, he's got his blessing. He really wanted to grab Kyle O'Reilly for that Undisputed Kingdom team, if you will. And after this, pans backstage to Jericho and Hook. They're celebrating after winning their first ever tag team match. And Chris then tells Hook that he showed him he's got world championship potential. But now Chris Jericho needs to know what it's like to stand across the ring from Hook. So Hook eventually agrees. And
here we go.
And now Lion Hook is having a one-on-one match next week. And honestly, I'm here for it. I think it's going to be a really cool match to see. And I hope that Hook comes out on top on this one and taps Jericho out with that red run. And now it's time for the main event of the evening, which I thought was weird that this was the main event of the evening. Match number 5 of the night, Riho versus Willow Nightingale. And I was very underwhelmed here during this match. I think if you swap the first and the main event, you swap those two matches, you have a better result. Needless to say, Willow Nightingale picks up the win here, and 1, 2, 3 on Riho takes her out. After the match, both women embrace, and Willow enjoys her victory. But now it's lights out, okay? And then we see Julia Hart appearing on the ramp as Sky Blue hits Willow from behind. And Julia wants to hit Willow in the face with the title, but guess who comes out to make the save, guys? It's Mercedes Moné. She comes out, saves her, big elbow to Sky Blue on the ramp, and she hits the gory bomb into a DDT to Julia Hart. And it was a nice move.
Maybe going for that TNT
going
title.
for that TBS title, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes. And Willow and Mercedes embrace as we go off the air. Great ending there because it kind of sets Monet right into the title picture here. Julia Hart has been reigning, defending TBS champion for a while now. It's time for a new challenger, and who better than the CEO, Mercedes? Who better? Mercedes Moné. And that is going to end this AEW Dynamite Big Business episode portion of the podcast. Really enjoyed it. Glad to have Mercedes Moné here. And if you guys are some hardcore fans like us, you would know that Bayley was up in the rafters hanging out with Naomi watching this happen, and good for her. They're all friends. We love to see it. Once again, we thank you for listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Please follow the show. Please rate the show. It really, really goes a long way, and we appreciate everyone who's been listening. But now, before we go, we're going to end it the way we always do, on a good note. We're going to give you a little bit of Today in Wrestling History.
Woo!
Let us talk to you.
On this day in wrestling history, we have some notable wrestling birthdays.
Let's get it.
Number 1 is Brody King.
Oh, nice. From the House of Black.
Yeah, it is his birthday. He was born in 1987.
Oh, wow. He's not
also
that much older than me. Wow, 2 years.
Big AEW day. Samoa Joe's birthday is today.
Is it
as
really?
Well.
Wow, our world heavyweight champion.
1979.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's above 40. And then we have Test.
Rest in peace.
And
Andrew
he was
Martin.
only born in 1975.
Yes.
He would only be approaching around his, late 40s.
Yeah, and he went out, unfortunately, very early in his run. And, he had some promising moments during the Attitude Era. Happy birthday to Test, Andrew
Martin. He must have been very young at that time. Jeez.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a big boy. Mm-hmm. The last birthday we're going to cover is actually Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh,
he was involved in wrestling. So they're counting him.
Happy birthday to him.
Born in 1967.
And on this day in wrestling history, 3/17 in the year 2002, WrestleMania X8, one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, took place in front of 68,237 fans at the Toronto Sky Dome in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The main event of this show saw Triple H defeat Chris Jericho to win the WWE Undisputed Championship. However, this match was completely overshadowed by the semi-main event match between The Rock and Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Oh, what a match.
An unbelievable match. What an unbelievable moment. At the beginning, the stare down, you had 68,000 people just on their feet with goosebumps. And The Rock and Hollywood Hogan, they just tore it down. They really did. And the thing was, Toronto completely embraced Hollywood Hogan, the heel, resulting in a face turn at the end of the match, which has gone down as one of the most iconic WrestleMania moments of all time. Hogan passed the torch to The Rock. Could you ask for a better match?
No, you can't. And on this day in wrestling history, in just 2021, about 3 years ago, LA Knight made his in-ring NXT debut.
Yeah.
When he defeated Austin Gray, although he was distracted in this match by Bronson Reed, who we had a little bit of a thing with there.
Yes,
he came to the ring to antagonize him during the match, but it didn't matter. LA Knight, let me talk to you. That was where it all started for WWE.
I like
and
it.
LA Knight, and
I like it a lot. And on this day in wrestling history, March 17th, also in this same year, Mike, 2021, in the main event of the St. Patrick's Day Slam edition of AEW Dynamite, Thunder Rosa defeated Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in a brutal lights out match. And it was that. It was just that. It was brutal. Really miss seeing Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, out there. Need her back on AEW television immediately.
For sure. And on this day in wrestling history, back in 2003, on an episode of Raw from St. Louis, Missouri. Missouri. I don't know if I can say that right, but hey,
Missouri.
You tell me. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated Eric Bischoff in a no disqualification match. Ultimately, this was Austin's final match on television.
Wow.
He ended up retiring following his match with The Rock on WrestleMania. Looks like 19.
Yeah, it was
6 days later. So this was his last television appearance, and then obviously that was a pay-per-view. So there it was, right there. And then he only debuted in a fight on another pay-per-view. So that really stands as his last.
Televised moment there, yeah, for sure.
Of wrestling.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now that we've finished that, this is going to end this episode of the Source Wrestling Podcast. Once again, we appreciate you listening. You can find the Source Wrestling Podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it may be. We are there. And once again, you are listening to The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and
Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us talk to you.
Let us talk to you.
Next time. Yeah.